Hi, beautiful twin flame lover. My name is Jack, and I'm here to talk about overcoming fears that come up around love, intimacy, and connection, and moving closer towards twin flame union, our ideal conscious relationship. This is a delicate subject, to be honest, yet it is so important for all of us. So let's begin. How to overcome fears around love, connection, and intimacy, and move closer to twin flame union and out of twin flame separation. So Rumi said, quote, "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you've built against it." Many people avoid admitting their fears around love, probably because the very idea of love can often feel so delicate and sensitive and vulnerable. Thus, many of us avoid expressing the true love that's within us. We believe we want love and connection. However, at the same time, we're avoiding it because it can feel so intense and so scary. We have a light side and a shadow side. The shadow side is the parts of us that we hide at all costs. It's a cocktail of our not so pretty aspects such as trauma, anger, sadness, hatred, jealousy, grief, shame, guilt, all that stuff. It's like carrying around a big ball and chain of baggage everywhere we go. It's heavy, and metaphorically it weighs us down and pushes love away, especially if we deny it or are completely unaware of it. A little bit of my story around fear of connection and intimacy is I used to struggle deeply with connecting, loving, and establishing intimacy with others, particularly in my romantic interests, yet also in friendships too, to be honest. I didn't know what the issue was. I had no awareness of it other than the reactions that I was getting from my romantic interests was very poor at the time. I didn't know what was wrong, so I did what many humans do, and I believed that something was wrong with me. This is shame, and shame, according to expert Brene Brown, is, quote, "the fear of disconnection or the fear that we're unlovable and don't belong." This is where most humans are operating from. Yet once I realized that I was creating my own hell based on my belief systems, I took my power back and I began to recreate myself using the knowledge of neuroplasticity. Basically, action-based personal development. Within 5 years of dedication, I was able to leave my boring corporate job, live full-time location independent, travel the world, monetize my soul's purpose, unite with my compatible twin flame beloved Amanda, and live the life of our dreams together. No joke. Back to where most humans are operating from. Whether we're aware of it or not, many of us on the planet are literally living our lives from a fearful state. We're operating from a fear that somehow we're unlovable and don't belong. So this leads us to literally create and manifest our greatest fears, and that's how powerful we are. When we come from fear, we can create the physical manifestation of our fear. This has happened so many times. We struggle, we fight, and we do whatever possible thing we can do to somehow morph ourselves into specific behaviors and models of being that have proven to us to give us a little bit of the evidence that others are loving us or accepting us, connecting with us, or giving us their attention. That's what we did. Yet the big red flag warning and caution sign here is that far too often these core beliefs, thoughts, emotions, and behaviors aren't even in alignment with who we are becoming, which means our potential, our soul, our true self, who we are truly here to be, which is a beacon of light, shining bright and never dimming down just to fit into some puzzle piece of a life that only gives us crumbs, really, when what we're seeking is the whole pie, the entire existence, oneness with all things, connection to the universe, our true state of love and belonging that we truly are. We're here to be that and to transmit that through our vessel. And if you're watching this video, then you probably are too. So receive that, receive your wholeness. Yes, you are here to be a full expression of love that you are at your own pace and learning. In our twin flame journey, seeking our ultimate beloved, the fear of love, which is actually the fear of our power, that pushes our twin flame away. So it could be the core reason of why we're attracting a twin flame runner or chaser. It can go both ways because it's a reflection of our relationship with ourselves and our interpretation of our own experiences. The thing is, our greatest fears often create trauma or dysregulation in the nervous system. More often than not, we're completely unaware of it because trauma is not caused by the experience itself. Trauma is created through our interpretation of the experience. Somehow in my story, I believe that connection and love was so scary because I was afraid of my true power. I didn't know what to do when the love inside of myself was wanting to come out. It scared me. It got stuck in my throat. It scared others too because maybe they had the same exact fear. Here's an affirmation for those courageous hearts who are diving into their fears and transformations. My trauma is a microcosm of the macrocosm in society. It is valid. It has a message to share that is potent medicine for others to heal as I heal. My fear is a message that connects me to others who are going through what I went through. I am a lighthouse for others to see through the darkness. Now we can see, and now we can recover, grow, and ascend together as one. So what can we do about this? Solutions include courage and compassion. To face our fears, we must have courage. Courage is the antidote to fear. Additionally, a good dose of compassion helps us face what we're facing because it brings more humility to our experience. When we practice compassion towards ourselves and others, it allows us to accept our humanity and our imperfections. It's okay that we're struggling. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. Hold space for deeper clarity is another one. Go into a relaxed state and put your focus on really what's happening for you. What thoughts are going on in the mind around connection, love, and intimacy with others? What beliefs, what feelings, what sensations in the body? Do you ever go into fight, flight, or freeze response? In what circumstances do you go into those responses? When do you get aggressive or just freeze up and get stuck? These are the responses of the nervous system that manifest based on one's perception and beliefs around love and intimacy. A good book to read up on this is called Attached: The New Science Behind Adult Attachment. It explains in great detail why some of us avoid love while others chase love, and then how some people are secure enough within themselves to have a healthy relationship to love. Gentle curiosity wins this game. Curiosity, when acted upon, allows one to become curious about the negative experiences and behaviors that come up around intimacy. Rather than avoid it, honestly, the most common response is to run for the hills and never come back. Yet that doesn't bring about any growth or self-discovery. When one very courageously faces the aspect of their life of love and steps into a mindset of deep curiosity, when done fully, all of the fear actually goes away. And this all turns into a fascinating investigation rather than a scary horror story. Okay, so these steps might seem a little vague to you at first, so I wanted to give some specific examples from my life. Now, these are some vulnerable stories, but I wanted to share because I actually truly did struggle with this a lot, and so I'm going to share these stories as examples. So I remember many years ago, I was on a date with a woman before I met my beloved Amanda, and I consider her an amazing, beautiful learning and growth mirror for me that allowed me to be ready to meet and unite with my beloved Amanda. Now, I remember very clearly my second date with this particular woman, and it was at her house, and I recall we were starting to get more intimate emotionally, and it was moving towards becoming physically intimate. And I remember this old pattern that came up for me a lot at that time, and I really just felt stuck. I felt really like a knot in my gut area, and I just felt like there was this energy, this force that was stopping me from being intimate and really having deep, amazing connection. So instead of doing what I normally did and just avoid this or try to act over it and act like everything's great and just try to like force through it, I fully brought curiosity to it. I acknowledged it in the moment. I held space for myself, and I literally just said, I don't know what's going on right now, but I just really feel stuck. I feel a desire to want to connect with you more intimately, and yet I'm just hitting a wall here energetically. And luckily I was at the part of my journey in my life where I was attracting women who were very conscious and aware. And so this woman amazingly held space for me, and she actually took me through a healing process after I said that. And she had me repeat the words, I'm sad, over and over and over and over again. I kid you not, right in that moment in her bedroom, she took me through a healing process, and so I just continued to say that. I just said, I'm sad, I feel sad, I feel sad. And this was literally the first time where I was really fully tapping into my unfelt suppressed emotions of sadness. And luckily enough, this woman was intuitive, and she was empathic enough to know that. And so I started to feel my sadness, and I just felt like myself tear up, and I felt so much more alive after that. And I felt more connected. And though it wasn't the ideal situation of intimacy that I wanted, it was fully acknowledging where I was at emotionally and spiritually, instead of trying to force things and put on a facade that everything's good and that I'm confident when I'm really not. So that was tremendously healing for me. I remember another time when I felt the same thing come up again, and it was very disappointing, but I just knew that I had to just share it. And so I said to this particular person, I said, hey, I'm experiencing this block that comes up in my life, and I feel stuck. I feel really tight in my lower belly area. I feel like I can't connect anymore, and I don't know what it is. What I really want is to connect with you more deeply and be more intimate with you, and yet I'm having difficulty doing that. I just want to be fully transparent about that with you. And that opened up this beautiful conversation of healing once again. And it wouldn't have been possible if I didn't bring curiosity to the moment, and I didn't hold space for myself and spend time with people who were willing to hold space for me. Another example is I remember one of my greatest limiting beliefs and obstacles in my life from experiencing the true connection and intimacy, open-hearted connection that I wanted, was my belief that my desire is bad. And so once I realized this, that this limiting belief was in my subconscious, and it was running my dating and love life and creating horrible situations for myself at the time, I then began to flip that belief with courage and compassion, and instead identify it as, I fully embrace my desire. And so from that point on, I remember my first date with Amanda, and I recall I was just following my desire the whole time. And literally within a minute of getting to the date with my now wife Amanda, our first date, I immediately just followed my desire, my intuition. I just immediately started giving her a back massage. I just wanted to get that touch. I wanted to touch her. I wanted to make her feel good. And then I remember I took her on a walk, and I remember I said, I really want to kiss you right now. And then I kissed her, and I did all these really bold things that I would normally not do in the past version of myself. But I just followed these desires, and I brought curiosity to the moment, and I would share whatever emotion was coming up for me, and I would just be fully transparent. I remember I would even share embarrassing stories from my past that normally would bring up a lot of shame, but instead I just like fully accepted who I am and the journey that I was on. And so I would literally share these embarrassing stories where I would get stuck during intimate moments in my dating life and just like laugh about it and be like, man, I was like so bad in my dating life, and like I would just get stuck, and my throat would get stuck, and my voice would get shaky, and I wouldn't know what to say, and then I would do these embarrassing things, and it was just like hilarious. And so I'd just be upfront, like, this is my journey, I'm working through this, I'm expressing my desires fully, I'm embracing myself, I'm loving myself to the highest degree, and I hope you enjoy the ride with me. And so when I stepped into that place of fully embracing my wholeness, bringing curiosity, holding space for myself with courage and compassion, speaking my full truth, then I only attracted people into my life who honored that, who honored my truth and truly loved me for who I am. So I hope this supports you on becoming the fullest expression of love that you are. Much love to you. You are so brave to be doing this work. If you want to take this work deeper, check out my website, highlyconsciousman.com or dramandanoel.com to learn more about the relational and spiritual work that we both do, my wife and I, in the description box below. Of course, hit that subscribe button right here and hit the notifications bell next to it to stay up to date and receive more epic videos like this one. If you've got a lot of value from this video and expanding awareness around this topic, and you appreciate the hard work and life experience that I put into this, then please share this with a friend or family member who could benefit from this. Let's spread these positive messages that bring more awareness. Infinite blessings to you. Thank you for joining me once again. Namaste. Namasko.